Why understanding stereotypes can actually benefit your relationship? Grab your stick, grab your drink. Let's get into this thing right now. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you, man. Welcome back to the podcast. You know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the real Cigar Jeff. All of my information is below in the description. Make sure you follow me on the socials, man. Get the merch. Are you really a fan? If you don't have the merch, get the merch, man. And y'all know as soon as you come into the building, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications. We gonna get into this thing today. Why understanding stereotypes can actually benefit relationships, man. And y'all know whenever I come with the relationship long form content, I got to bring in a resident relationship expert. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Tell y'all where y'all can tell. She can tell y'all where y'all can find her on the socials.
Oh, okay. Thanks, JB, for having me back. I don't know what this one's gonna be like this evening. On today, as they say in church, on today. I don't know what this is gonna be like. But it's your girl Rhonda. Thanks for having me back. You can find me on the socials at RMBLNBT on Instagram. Tonight I'm sipping on, since I haven't ate all day. Tonight I'm sipping on some good old
in the merch.
lemonade, limeade in the merch. As he said, go get the merch. Go get the merch. Amen. Go get the merch. So I think it's okay for me to just have some limeade.
Yeah, as long as it's in the merch. As long as it's in the merch,
it's in the merch.
You don't have to have no alcohol in the glass if it's in the merch. Hey, that's simply lemonade.
Put in it. Plus, I didn't get a chance to ask you what to put in.
Well, you should have got to put some red beer in it from last week. That'll hit with it.
Now I want to do that with Sprite, like you said.
Well, let's splash lemonade in that.
But this is right here. I mean, I don't want to drink on an empty stomach.
Well, guys, that's stereotype. That's a stereotype right there, guys. Don't drink on an empty stomach. That's a stereotype.
That's right. Look, unless you want to go viral. We want to go viral.
Yes, please do.
Yes. It's good, though. This is good. I'm just sipping on this.
No, man. Hey, you can't beat that simple lemonade, man. I'm telling you.
Limeade. It's the limeade.
Oh, the limeade. Oh, then you really, okay. All right. Okay.
And I'm good with that.
Appreciate you being on, guys. She ain't had a Five Guys today, so
I ain't had nothing.
Y'all about to get it now. She fasted.
But some Lance Nabs.
Oh my God! And if all y'all don't know what nab mean, that's short for Nabisco. We call them nabs in the country.
The orange ones.
Yeah, that's the cheese cracker with the peanut butter in it. For all y'all who listen, ain't from North Carolina. That's a nab is short for Nabisco. I didn't learn that till I got old.
It's a nab.
We call it a nab. Okay. So I don't want y'all to think she eating something up there. So y'all know I'm simple tonight, man. Finishing up my Buffalo Trace. Got my Buffalo Trace cigar. Got a couple more of those left, and I had to go easy tonight. Been a long day, so I got my Amstel Light. In the bottle. Gotta, this one go. It's storming like crazy down here in Florida, so I ain't bringing out the hard stuff. But we gonna get into this thing right now, Rhonda. When you got this topic, what's the first thing that came to mind?
I told you this gonna be a tough one. That's what I said, right? I put on my growth shirt because I thought, like, hey, stereotypes, y'all can outgrow them, like, love one another. But I think that the stereotypes can be so broad depending on, actually what we're talking about within the relationship. As much as you hate to have stereotypes, unfortunately, a lot of them line up with the subject. So I don't know if there's one thing in particular that stands out to me other than the stereotype that you should be married or you should be in a relationship or you should have kids, or what have you. But all lies.
It's funny you say that, guys. Let me tell y'all why this podcast came to fruition. If y'all don't follow 4th and 1 by Cam Newton, and y'all got to understand something. I really wasn't a big Cam Newton fan I really wasn't a big Cam Newton fan when he was playing. But since I've come into this YouTube space, fourth and one, Cam Newton page, 4th and 1. That's probably got to be one of the best channels on YouTube to me. Because to see Cam just kind of become this content creator, and as eclectic as he is dressing, and the reason I say it's eclectic because I would never be allowed to dress like he dressed because of quote unquote stereotypes. You don't want people to say a certain thing about you. You don't want people to paint you with a broad brush. But this man is brilliant on 4th and 1. But on his other YouTube channel, his Cam Newton channel, he had the love doctor up that was telling him that because he has 8 kids by 3 different women, all he's doing is actually creating broken homes. Okay, now when she said a broken home, it's not broken if he would have had 8 children by one woman and they hated each other. But as long as he in the house, it ain't considered a broken home. Okay? He has 8 kids by 3. Now, don't get me wrong. I only thought Cam had 4 or 5 kids. So to find out that he got 8, and Cam has already said, I want to have more of them. Cam said he wanted to have more. So when y'all think about it, the reason why I'm doing this podcast on stereotypes is because a stereotype is just a broad brush, right? She didn't talk to any of his kids to see if they felt like they were in a broken home. His kids may be getting everything they want. His kids may be getting the majority of his time outside of his productivity hours. His kids, he may not have missed any of their events and all this kind of stuff. His mom, the kids' moms may be taken care of financially and all that kind of stuff. So when she said it, I'm like, that's a stereotype about a broken home, because one of the things y'all will find is most 2-parent household people end up working for a person who grew up in a 1 household parent. So if I live in a 2-parent household, I end up working for a person who grew up in a single parent household. Right? So a lot of us are trying to avoid stereotypes, but Rhonda just said something. A lot of those stereotypes are true. So guys, all the stereotype is a broad brush about a certain sector of people. It's a broad brush. Okay? So Rhonda, what are some of the outside relationships? Give me an example of some of the stereotypes you think you've heard in your life. I'll give you an example, right? Okay. So we say white people don't cook with seasoning. Right? White people don't cook with seasoning. Black people like fried chicken and watermelon, right? These are stereotypes that women are not as qualified as men in the workplace. All that kind of stuff. Give me some of the stereotypes that stand out to you outside of a relationship component.
Listen. Oh no, it's quite a few that could stand out. White men can't jump. Remember that movie?
Everybody remembers that movie. No. White men can't jump. Right? Now,
everybody. I mean, it could be. I mean,
light skin women are prettier. Right? Yeah. These are stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
These are stereotypes. Black people can't swim.
Well, that's
these
true.
are.
Well, I mean.
Right?
I can't swim.
Right? So the reason why y'all see what I'm saying? I just asked Rhonda that question.
Yeah, man.
And Rhonda can get an idea of what my questions are going to be. But stereotypes don't hit your mentality until you hear them. Right? So if somebody says, hey man, give me a common stereotype. Stereotypes never get into your mental until somebody breaks it out. Right? So the one thing I learned, like black people like fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? White people like it too. Because every white restaurant got black people cooking, and so the white people come in at a certain time and get the same meal that black people come in later and get.
Well, maybe they just don't clog their arteries like it does ours then. Maybe that's what
we can't. Now, see, Rhonda talking from a medical perspective. I just said that. I didn't say what was good.
But I'm just saying, that's no different than, like, and I hate to say this, but you've heard me say it before. White people could do cocaine. Black people do crack back in the day. We couldn't do the
It's different. Stuff. It's different things, guys, and that's why every law that's written, guys, is written based on stereotypes. And that's one of the things you guys got to understand.
Like most black people are on welfare. No, that's a lie. That's a stereotype.
But it's a stereotype, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you're gonna find, guys, is go to this part of town, they're racist. This part of town, they're not racist. Go to this part of town, they rich. Go to this part of town, they poor, right? This is why, guys.
A level of truth to some of them. It is a level of truth.
Guys, there's always a high level of truth in every stereotype. And one of the things people don't want to admit, Rhonda, is your stereotypical beliefs is what attracted you to the person you with. We don't want to accept it, but here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you like this. We did a podcast a while ago on interracial relationships. Listen to how people talk about, a white man will do this for a black woman, or a black woman will do this for a white man, and a white woman will do this for a black man, and a black man will do this for a white woman. All of these stereotypes. And so now you say, damn, man, is that what they'll do? Well, now I'm gonna go search out for that. And so a lot of people struggle, Rhonda, because they don't understand how much stereotypes have actually driven their decision making in a relationship. So because Cam Newton didn't decide to get married to these women he's having babies by, and Cam did another podcast where he was referencing David and Solomon and some of the other men in the Bible who had multiple wives, multiple concubines, and that kind of thing. One of the things I had a problem with the lady who was interviewing Cam was that Rhonda said something earlier. I ain't make the day, and I ain't put nothing in. I ain't gonna have no alcohol because we ain't trying to go viral.
We ain't trying to go viral.
Well, this chick was literally trying to go viral for Cam Newton's podcast. And one of the things, he didn't invite you up there to go viral. He invited you up there to have a conversation.
But there's also a level of him knowing who he invited on his show that certain things was going to come out.
Agreed. But you're a woman. This woman tried her best to convict or condemn Cam Newton based off stereotypes. Because at the end of the day, guys, out of all the stuff people say about Cam Newton, I ain't never heard somebody say he was a bad father. I ain't never heard it. You can talk about his football. You can talk about his dressing, right? I only heard one person. Like when his first girlfriend broke up, he got a new ugly man. But outside of that, I ain't heard nothing negative about how Cam Newton interacts.
Well, other than the babies overlapping, you had the babies overlapping. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying.
Some people cool with that, but
that's what I'm saying. Outside of that one time.
Oh, I thought it was multiple kids that overlap.
Yeah, y'all get in the comments if I'm wrong about your boy Cam. But
it's Cam.
Sorry, reflex.
No, it's not.
I just thought it was interesting how you can't make a comment about him if you ain't talked to his kids and the women he had the babies by. Because well,
I guess it depends on their ages too. Like, I mean, I don't know.
He clearly got infants.
Other than the oldest one that's not his, I know she's fairly old enough.
Absolutely,
but I don't know about the ages of the other.
She didn't give him credit for taking in that one his, right? She didn't give him no credit on that one. And a lot of people don't understand. Cam was with the same girl for a long time. Even he was
with other women too.
But he had no other kids outside of that we know of. You see what I'm saying? The kids started coming at the end when he was kind of figuring out if he was going to be on TV. Not be on TV. Was going to try to keep staying in the NFL and that kind of thing when he opened up a cigarette lounge down in Atlanta. So, guys, that's the reason what started this discussion with me and Rhonda because, well, with me, and I just told Rhonda this what the podcast was. Rhonda didn't have no say so in this. But I wanted y'all to see. So what you'll find is people say black men are better lovers, or white men are better romantics, and white women are more submissive, and black women are more aggressive, and all the stuff you hear, guys. Those broad strokes. The reason why it's a stereotype is because it's enough people that level of truth has been elevated. Would you agree with that, Ron?
I mean, I can agree with that, but I also know that you can make things be that too. Like it doesn't necessarily, if you marginalize people, of course you could call them certain things, right? Like that's why certain women are called groupies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know that's what they do. But then it's like, hey, I'm not a groupie, but I may be a cougar or a thundercat or whatever the terms are, right? Like it is
Yes,
it's stereotypes. But I do think that people could just group you that and label you as such, and then make it be that way, make it be perceived
absolutely.
that way.
Guys, this is the number one thing you're gonna find, right? Stereotypes, black people getting stopped by the cops, right? All these kind of things. Profiling is a big part of what our culture is. And if you understand them, you're gonna realize that the reason why a lot of the relationships ain't working is because the foundation of what I was going after was a stereotype. And if I
Well,
get into
and you ignore the red and beige and all the
color
other
flag, right?
flags. Yeah,
All
all the
color flags.
flags.
So,
Yeah.
what drives us, guys, is stereotypes. I'm a sales guy, right? I've been in sales and marketing my entire career, right? Regardless of being a business owner, you basically the top sales guy. And what's the first thing you learn? You learn how certain groups of people think. When you're talking to a female, talk like this. When you're talking to a male, talk like this. When you're talking to, you're talking to the support staff, talk like this. Because they
Once
all
you get the
think,
job, you talk like this.
yeah. And in the interview, you pronounce your E's and R's.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I want you guys to see is how critical stereotypes are, because one of the things you might be having a problem with in your relationship is you want this person to act like a stereotype. But once you get into a relationship, a stereotype doesn't exist anymore, because now that's individual. That's not a broad brush. And that's
But
where people struggle. Go ahead.
but well, I'm gonna just say America in general. I mean, to be more specific, society has set the tone for a lot of these stereotypes. It's no
And social
different
media.
than, and only say what now?
And social media is
Yeah,
feeding it.
of course it's feeding it, because, like, say what you want. If there's a single mom, um, that technically that child is a bastard according to
Technically.
society, right? Like, yeah, that's what they,
Technically.
and it's like, no, but how else are we supposed to technically look at it? But
Mm-hmm.
maybe she wanted to have a child by herself, or like, we don't know. We just know as a single mom, that's an illegitimate. Let me use that word, an
Yes.
illegitimate
Yes.
child. That's what they call it. And with my friends that are single moms, I mean, I don't see their kids as bastards or illegitimate. I just don't.
Absolutely. But
That's not.
what did I tell you? What did I tell you? The people who came from a two-parent household end up working for the person who comes from a one-parent household. Like, and mostly every black athlete comes from a one-parent home, mostly, and that drives them.
Driven to
And
take care of their parent, that one parent,
yes,
from working so hard, or
that one parent, absolutely.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't understand that what Rhonda just said is true. So the reason why we're talking about stereotypes, guys, is actually pretty simple. Because you don't realize that what your foundation in relationships is based off of stereotypes. And whether you want to like it or not, or whether you want to believe it or not, stereotypes play a fundamental purpose in our everyday life. But it doesn't pop up until somebody says it, right? So I ain't conscious about ordering wings if I'm with other black people. But when I'm with people, I'm like, hey, I want some wings. But they
You don't
want
care. You
wings
still
too.
order.
They want wings too. You didn't realize they want wings too. They want crispy
Yeah.
too. They want ranch too. Right? Like, some eat blue cheese, but we forgive them on that. But
No.
my perspective is,
Yeah.
they like the same thing you like. So, for example, I follow Country Wayne on YouTube, man, and Brock got this new white girl that he's dating, and she showed up at his ex-girlfriend's house,
You
and she
into it
didn't know.
like that?
Man, I'm into Country Wayne, bro. Shout out to Country Wayne, bro. I'm into that. And Brock got this new girlfriend, and she came over to Sarah's, his ex-girlfriend, house for the first time, and she bought watermelon with a bow on it. She bought the watermelon from Publix,
Hungry.
already chopped up. You know how Publix have it in the back where it's already cut up.
Yeah.
And that's a stereotype. Black people know damn well, if you bring me a watermelon, bring me the whole one.
Yeah, we got to see what it look like. Yeah.
I got to pluck it.
Does it got the yellow spot? Like, all of that. Is it sweet?
But they like watermelon too. They don't go through the process of cutting it up.
Mm-hmm.
She bought her, and Sarah said, "Oh my God, you bringing me watermelon? You're racist." But her girlfriend, Athena, was like, "Girl, you can leave. but give me the watermelon though. Right? She kept the girl's watermelon and kicked her out. And so what I'm trying to say to you guys, I had to learn that. I had to learn that because black people want the whole watermelon and we gonna cut it and we gonna go through a whole process because that's what we enjoy. Mm-hmm. This girl said, hey, look, don't go through all that. Here go the watermelon right here. Well, I don't want my watermelon cut up because I need to know who cut it.
Mm-hmm. Get their fingers. Mm-hmm.
Get their fingers all this stuff. We serious about that. But what I wanted to do, guys, we're gonna get into this article real fast, Rhonda. But I wanted to, let me show y'all this article I got, and then we're gonna just go through this, and I'm gonna read it for all my Spotify listeners who listening. All right, we over here, verywellmind.com. Rhonda, can you see that one?
Yes.
Okay. 9 common relationship stereotypes that we normalize, but are actually not okay. Now, guys, as I was doing my research on this article was in July 2023. So I try to have everything post-COVID because honestly, anything pre-COVID doesn't matter no more. COVID has changed it. COVID has changed and shifted everything. So let's go through this. Human relationships can be complicated, which is sometimes why we often unwittingly fall victim to stereotypes about how relationships should work. While these expectations become normalized in our society, they can sometimes contribute to behaviors that can be unhelpful, toxic, or even harmful. Let's look at some problematic norms that make it harder to have a healthy, fulfilling relationship. This article also explores some more helpful ideas that can lead to better relationships with our partners. You can see this, right, Ron?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Why do we normalize certain relationship behaviors? Like other stereotypes, society and culture influence often play a significant role in the formation and maintenance of these problematic behaviors. For example, traditional gender roles reinforce power dynamics in relationships, suggesting that women are more submissive while men are dominant and controlling. These beliefs are often so deeply entrenched that they are difficult to escape even among couples that reject traditional roles. Even in more egalitarian relationships, women frequently do far more than their fair share of household duties. What do you think about that paragraph right there, Rhonda, that whole section?
Yeah, no, where's the lie? That's true.
Now, the reason I say this is out there on social media right now, guys are trying to domesticate women and all this kind of stuff, and they're getting it handed to them because if you want to domesticate a woman, she cannot be working.
That's right. Like, what's the purpose?
Like, fellas, I don't know where y'all think that she got to do 50-50 and come home and be submissive. The more traditional you want her, the more money you got to make. The more you got to do. Because if she is contributing at the same level you contributing, that's going to be some shared duties in that house.
People are tired. People are, hold on. People are tired.
They tired. They are tired. And now y'all, for all y'all who ain't from the country, tired and tired is spelled the same way. Tired and tired is spelled the same way.
Mm.
Okay.
But a lot of people want that setup though. Like
absolutely, they want the setup, but they don't want the responsibility and
you want somebody to smile and be happy.
Yes, guys. The more traditional. Look, guys, I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm just putting my stuff together on this trad wife trend. Trad wife, or short for traditional wife, because a lot what you got to understand is what goes into that, because a lot of people don't get it, but what goes into that is unreal. And I want to do a podcast on it once I get some more information on it, so I can condense it down into an hour round. But we're gonna do a podcast on trad wives, TRAD wives, okay, which is short for traditional wives. Your childhood may have taught you what is normal. While cultural norms heavily influence relationship stereotypes, our childhood experience plays a significant role in molding our beliefs and attitudes about how relationships should work. The behaviors and attitudes you observe during your formative years help shape your expectations and assumptions as an adult. Such behaviors are modeled, learned, and normalized within the context of your family, creating a cycle that affects subsequent relationships. If you grew up in a home where unhealthy dynamics and behaviors were prevalent, you might be more likely to believe these things are simply part of a normal relationship. Mm-hmm. For example, if you experience emotional manipulation and a disregard for personal boundaries from an early age, you're more likely to reenact those behaviors in your adult relationship. Rhonda, tell me what you take away from that the moment you hear it.
It's true. If you're gonna be honest, again, our mothers teach their sons, fathers
Yes.
teach their daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
About love, about respect, how you should be
Yes.
treated, all of those things. And
Yes.
people want to walk around here act like they don't have mama and daddy issues when all of us on
Oh,
some level do, if we're going to be honest about it.
guys,
And which is why if there's certain things you don't want in your relationship, that's going to be a requirement for you when you're talking to somebody, or they're going to be like, oh no, that doesn't work for me. I'm out.
absolutely. You preaching. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it like this, guys. Here's my takeaway from that right there. Your first manipulative relationship came from the parent-child relationship. That's the first
And that
manipulative,
starts in the womb. That starts
and
in the
that
womb.
started in the womb, and it's the one that is dictating everything you do right now. And that's what happens. Like this is what this lady is telling you, right? Your first unhealthy relationship, manipulative relationship, started when you were in the womb. And now you saw all these things. You saw these things, and you're trying to recreate it because it was your truth. But in essence, once you get with somebody who wasn't manipulated like that, they were manipulated too. They just weren't manipulated like you. So now there's this clash. We talked about traditions and stuff like that, but your first unhealthy relationship is your parental relationship. We
Mm-hmm.
go, we gonna go in there now.
Yeah, because it is, and it's the mama, because she the one talking to
Absolutely,
the baby the whole time,
absolutely,
like
guys,
all the time.
absolutely.
Even as the baby's being born, like, oh Lord,
Mm-hmm.
this baby coming now.
Mm-hmm.
This baby sitting on my bladder, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to
And that's
say.
what y'all got to understand, guys. Look, and you got to embrace this so you'll know what's happening, right? The media perpetuates relationship stereotypes. Relationship stereotypes are often reinforced in popular media, including books, movies, television, and music. Such depictions are often highly unrealistic, idealized, and distorted, favoring a fantasy of what society thinks the ideal relationship should look like. And you look at this quote, it says the media also tends to show the best and worst of relationship. They only offer us a narrow view of a relationship in that moment in time. They don't show the day-to-day issues that couples endure. Okay? And sometimes they normalize unhealthy behaviors, including controlling actions, disregard for consent and autonomy, and valuing certain types of relationships over all others. Because these attitudes are so pervasive and normalized, they are also easily internalized and seen as something desirable. Okay? Now, this is just a quick one that says other factors that play a role in creating stereotypes, biases, personal experience, and cultural norms. So, this is what I wanted to get to. 9 common relationship stereotypes that are actually not okay. Okay? So relationship stereotypes can create unrealistic expectations, ultimately making it harder for individuals and couples to form healthy, happy connections. People often feel pressured to conform to a role, even if it doesn't make them comfortable. Now, what they put out here, guys, genuine love does not try to control the other person. It's a source of comfort, strength, support, and encouragement. It seeks to help each person become their best possible self, not to place limits on what a person can do or be. Now, if
Mm,
your relationship is based in biblical stuff, religion stuff, you can't listen to nothing like that.
mm,
Okay, because in the Bible, that's going to be completely opposite of that. Okay,
mm.
now heterosexual relationships are the norm. Okay, now so you can see where this is going now, guys. Right? This is number one. Heterosexual relationships are the norm. That's the first stereotype. The idea that heterosexual relationships are the norm is inaccurate and harmful. While deeply rooted, this stereotype can cause LGBTQIA plus individuals to feel that their relationships are less valid. Okay? This can contribute to mental health issues, relationship problems, and social exclusion. Now, Ryan, what do you think when you hear about heterosexual relationships are the norm?
Um, I actually like agree with that being a stereotype,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very prevalent. Um, Especially in this day and age with certain generations, especially the ones who are more free to be themselves and be uh out um and about. Again, I think the lines are going to be blurred between what people read in the Bible, their interpretation of it, and what actually is. um I just know Sodom and Gomorrah was having a great old time.
Mm-hmm.
They were living their best life, doing
Yes.
whatever, right? And
Yes.
so, but what we were taught growing up, that is an abomination. That's like all the things
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
but and not saying that same sex marriages and relationships don't have their issues. It's just that, dang, them heterosexual ones off the chain sometimes.
But guess what, though, guys? I'm going to say this, and this is me doing a stereotype. The LGBTQ community did not have problems in their relationships like the heterosexual relationships until they got legal status from the government. Y'all know how many of these people had relationships that were outside of the government umbrella. The government legalized it. Now those LGBTQ relationships are starting to have the same problems. You see what I'm saying? Because prior to them not having that government mandate that they could get married and that kind of thing, now the homosexual divorce rate is just as high as the heterosexual divorce rate,
But
and that's what's crazy.
I also think though that society has put so much weight on someone being with someone. Oh, you're not with
Absolutely.
somebody, you're not dating anybody,
Oh yeah,
you're not
something wrong with
married
you.
yet. Yes, right. And so when you add that in there, and then because again, it's no different when somebody get married. As soon as they get engaged, ooh, when is the wedding? When's the wedding
When's the
happen?
wedding
When
date?
y'all having
When y'all
babies?
gonna have
Do
kids?
you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Had the first one. When you gonna have the second one? Like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
man, can we just
And then
be?
those same people on the phone claiming that the man ain't making enough money now.
Yeah.
Well, so after I got engaged, bought the ring, got
Mm-hmm.
married, had
Mm-hmm.
kids, now all I hear from those same people who push me to that is that, hey, you need to step your game up and make more money, take care of your family. Well, you didn't put me in a position where I'm not flexible at work. And the best ability is availability. Now, let's get to the next one, guys. On and off relationships are exciting and passionate. The pattern becomes one of breakup to makeup, and it never leads to feeling satisfied in a relationship. The excitement of believing this time will be better leads to an increase of endorphins that tricks our brain into believing that this toxic pattern is good. Now, if y'all go back to the podcast where I did toxic relationships are the best relationships, see, one of the things you guys are going to find is on and off relationships are not a bad thing. Okay. But what he said is they're often mythologized in popular culture. The idea that people keep returning to one another time and time again, in spite of the obstacles they face, can seem both exciting and passionate. In fact, such relationships are often portrayed as deep, intense, emotional connections. Okay. Sometimes they happen because people believe they can eventually change their partner. However, such relationships can be toxic if your needs are unmet. Okay. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is we all know them, we all know that couple that's always breaking up and getting back together. But the only difference between your relationship and that relationship is you just chose not to do it, but y'all going through the same stuff. You ain't in a position in that. You just chose not to go public with it. What you think, Rhonda, when you hear me say that?
I think life is all about choices, and if you
Mm-hmm.
choose to, but I also know we as human beings love what's familiar. We love what's comfortable, even though it may be toxic. At least I'm used to it. What they say, like, I mean, there's so many different slogans, like keep your enemies
Mm-hmm.
close or whatever. Like
Yep.
it's so many things that could be attributed to. But I think at the end of the day, we long to belong,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to be a part of somebody's. It's like human nature to want that,
Mm-hmm.
unless your
Mm-hmm.
childhood and early years, developmental years, were so tragic that you like, I'm good by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, guys, we're gonna go to the next one. Controlling behaviors equal love. The idea that control is a sign of love is harmful stereotype that can promote unhealthy, dangerous relationship dynamics. This stereotype confuses jealousy for interest, control for commitment, and manipulation for love. Now, guys, I'm not going to read through all of these just for the sake of time, but I can tell y'all like this: controlling behaviors equal love. Now, what happens is, guys, I've seen these situations, and people say, "Oh my God, he was too controlling." Right? You'll hear females say he was too controlling. That's why I left him. Well, you liked that before. I apologize if y'all hear that thundering in the back, but it's storming like crazy down here. But if you liked it in the beginning, what changed?
It's not that you
Because
liked it in the beginning. It's just, again, maybe you didn't realize that that's what it was, because things was fresh and new, and like, oh, he just wants to know where I am, or what. No,
Yes.
yeah. So
What
no,
I'm
I
trying to
don't.
tell you,
I think people have the right to change their
what I'm trying to
mind.
say to what I'm trying to say to you guys is because we talking stereotypes. Remember what I said at the beginning of the podcast? You were attracted to the guy that was controlling. He told you. But like Rhonda said something. And the reason why I use the female as my example is the female is under so much pressure to be with somebody, get married, have kids, all that kind of stuff. So if you see somebody that you like physically, he may have these controlling behaviors
So put
that
up with it.
that you're gonna put up with, or he may have the controlling behavior that comes across as, like you said, he gives me all of his attention.
Mm.
Right? And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that happens is, guys, is that if a man or a woman is trying to control you, just know they already have somebody else. Because the only reason I need to control you is because I need to make sure you don't find out everything wrong with me. Because DMX said it best. Look, let a dog roam and he'll find his way home.
But it's
Let a
true.
dog, yeah, man, it's thundering. It's crazy down here in Florida. I can't believe my internet's
Mm.
still working.
You
But
know,
let a
you
dog
know,
roam
them
and he'll
folks will
find
turn
his way
everything
home.
off. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandma wouldn't be happy if she knew we doing a podcast while the
And it's
Lord doing his
on.
work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you don't realize, let that person do what they want to do, guys. Because at the end of the day, trying to
Mm-hmm.
control somebody gonna end up creating a crime of passion.
Mm.
Okay. Next one. Women are supposed to be caretakers. Traditional gender stereotypes suggest that women are the primary caretaker in a relationship. This applies not only to children, but to their partners as well. And because of this, women are often tasked with doing all of the domestic and emotional labor in a relationship. What do you think about that, Rhonda?
No, that's true. You know, that is so
These,
true. Like,
these are negative stereotypes, guys. Because if you got your partner doing this, fellas, if you got your partner doing this, just know she hating you every day she wake up.
absolutely. Like, why are you over there still breathing?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's no, it's very one sided when it comes to that. You know, because men will beat their chest thinking like, "Hey, we're not supposed to be emotional. We're not supposed to talk about this or talk about that."
Or
But
she cooking
yes,
my food. She got my drink ready when I walk in. I don't have
yeah,
to
that
do nothing. She take the kid.
man, sit your somewhere.
But
Like,
on the flip side, guys, moon, if you doing this too, if the roles have been reversed, you're hating every day of your life. Guys, nobody in a relationship wants to do domestic stuff because of a stereotype thing. They want to do domestic things because they enjoy doing it.
but
See
if you've
that?
been told since day one or since your teenage years that you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to have kids, that's what makes you more of a complete person, more of a validated person. You will end up like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's what happens, guys. I want y'all to see this one sentence. Most of the work that a caretaker does is invisible. And so women often feel unappreciated by their family members and especially partners. Fellas, I say this every podcast. Stop trying to turn your woman into a domesticated partner because you don't understand every day she wakes up, she's hating you. Now you can brag about it on social media and all, and I don't care how much money you make, I don't care how much money you giving her. These women do not want that. Hire a housekeeper, hire a chef. That's what you got to do. Don't put, guys, a woman is not meant to be your domestic housekeeper and chef.
Say
She's
that
not
louder.
expected to, she's not she's not supposed, guys, if y'all go back, the woman you choose gets higher level treatment versus the women you hire. Okay? When y'all go to a hotel, do you tell housekeeping not to come in because your wife gonna clean the room? No.
Boy, I'm sorry.
I'm just telling y'all now. I want everybody to get this. Look at how, take your wife anywhere. Take your wife anywhere. She is not going to get up and clean that bathroom and clean that hotel room. Y'all going to leave out that room. And
Mm-hmm.
when she comes back to a clean room, she's going to be like, oh my God, it feels so good to have a clean room.
Mm-hmm.
Without her doing it. So I want y'all to understand that, fellas. Let's go to the next one. Men desire sex more than women. The idea that men have a higher sexuality than women can be problematic and hurtful in a number of ways. For one, it promotes highly gendered beliefs about sexuality, suggesting that men are more motivated by sex while women are passive. and must be convinced to engage in sexual activity. What do you think about this one, Ron?
Okay, we saying that this is a norm, right?
But they can be dangerous. So what they're saying
Yeah.
is,
No,
yeah,
look, I think it's so many liberated women out here that are okay with expressing what their needs are, whether that's sexually, physically, emotionally, or whatever. So I could see how sometimes I guess some men could claim they feel abused and misused in the bedroom. I guess if
but see,
that's you know.
it's funny you say that because I think what this thing is, what a lot of people don't understand, when a woman gets thrust into the role of a man, her desires may be that of a man. And if a man gets thrust in the role of a female, they may not be as aggressive
In the
with
mood.
initiating. Absolutely. That's the whole point, guys. That's why this is relationship stereotypes that can be problematic. Okay. So know what your role is in the relationship. Okay. Next one. Everything in your relationship must be 50-50 or it's doomed. This is a negative stereotype. But this is how many people walk into a relationship and everything we can do if we work together. While imbalanced dynamics and contributions are unhealthy, the stereotype that everything must be divided exactly in half can also be detrimental to the health of a relationship.
Did
Couples need to
somebody
work.
write this article?
I don't know.
Oh,
That thing says relationships are like recipes, and not all recipes are the same. The thought of a partnership being 50-50 can cause couples to have unrealistic expectations of their partner provided in a relationship.
hmm.
Guys, look at what this thing said. Couples need to work with the natural ebb and flow of life and what works for them in their relationship. But guys, anytime it's 50-50, you got to remove tradition. If it's 50-50, there is no traditional things you can stand on. What do you think about that one, Ron?
I mean, I think you kind of do set your relationship up for financial failure for sure, which is going to end with the relationship actually ending. Um, I mean, there's no you can't move forward, you can't progress with something like that because it's going to
Mm-hmm.
come to a point where what if one of them don't have it, but it's their turn for the fifth, like you know what I'm saying, for them to bring whatever they need to bring. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but I agree with the statement. Like you should like the natural ebb and flow of your relationship. But like if you say, hey, this month I'm gonna pay the bills, then next month you're gonna pay the bills, or we gonna split it like evenly all the way down. I think you set yourself up for your
Yes.
relationship
One of the
to
things
to
you
fail.
look, guys, don't get together with somebody. It should be 100-100. I give you 100% of me, you give me 100% of you. If y'all getting together thinking that we can do this together and we gonna put both of our stuff together, that ain't gonna work. Cause it always sounds good, but it never works. There has to be a leader, there has to be a follower. Has to be a dominant, has to be a submissive.
Hmm.
And whoever is at the top gonna have more of the responsibility. It ain't gonna be no 50-50. Okay? Women should take men back if they cheat, but not the other way around. Another common stereotype is that
Mm,
women should forgive their partner's infidelity, but that men should not. Each person's relationship is unique, and rebuilding trust after such a breach of trust is not easy. In some cases, it may not be possible. What do you think about that one, Ron?
I do believe this probably happens more than what's talked about. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, depending on the female, she may not have like her name on the house or name on the car and all
Mm-hmm.
of that. Like depending on how the relationship is set up. But then men crumble if they find out their wife coochie done went somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see why for them. But yeah, that's crazy. But
Well, but I think one of the things you can learn from this one, I think one of the things you can learn from this one, guys, is this: when you see these external activities happening, it's because something is foundationally wrong internally, right? So at the end of the day, if it was a perfect setup, I could see that. But if it was an imperfect setup, okay, right? And that's the whole perspective, guys. That's why I like what she's saying is that it works both ways. But in essence, this is just representative that something foundationally in the relationship was effed up anyway, right? It's one of those situations, guys, where the hardest thing about relationships is learning what you got told about relationships. Everything was a lie.
and
But
what
if
you
you
saw,
try,
and what you
mm-hmm,
saw.
and what you saw, so don't even let this bother you because that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Okay. you should always sleep in the same bed with your partner. Mm-hmm. It's a common belief that couples are expected to sleep in the same bed each night. It's often depicted as essential to a healthy, intimate relationship. While sleeping next to your partner can have some benefits, it's important to recognize that it doesn't work for every couple. And sleeping separately is not a sign of romantic dysfunction. Okay? Mm-mm. Now, one of the things is, it's so funny, right? Look at what he said. People may choose to sleep in separate beds or rooms for various reasons, including sleep habits. Some of y'all got sleep apnea, work schedules, health conditions, or sleep difficulties. And guys, I go back to I Love Lucy. If you go back and watch that movie, all these shows we grew up on, all couples sleep in separate beds. They didn't sleep in the same bed. Well, now there's a reason, guys, why it's called a master bedroom. I'll never forget when we went to Biltmore State in Asheville, right? George Vanderbilt did not have the same room as his wife. They had separate rooms, right? Because again, this was happening back in the day. What do you think about this one, Ron?
I'm here for not sleeping in the same room with your spouse. I think.
Or separate bed.
Or houses. It really just depends on your level of relationship.
Yeah, but it did say separate house.
No, but
I ain't going there.
But no, I could see how people would get it twisted that like the marital bed is such a sacred bed. Whatever.
Yeah. Now, but again, guys,
but not if I'm waking up and I end up with high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol because your tail's snoring and you won't go to the doctor to check out your sleep.
Yes, that's the one thing, guys. If y'all are working and all this kind of stuff, if y'all like different, some people sleep diagonal. Some people, why y'all think they making these sleep number mattresses? If you need a sleep number mattress, y'all may as well just sleep in separate rooms, right? If one of y'all got to be hot, one of y'all got to be cool. All this kind of stuff, guys, this thing is real. And so one of the things is that what you're going to learn is as you get older, both of y'all on different sleep schedules anyway. Both of y'all on different sleep schedules anyway. Rhonda, monogamy is the only option. Monogamous relationships are typically presented as the ideal and even the only acceptable type of relationship. While this works well for many couples, that doesn't mean it's right for everyone. Perpetuating the belief that monogamy is the norm or right way can dismiss or undermine the desires and preferences of individuals who lean toward different relationship structures, creating a sense of judgment and exclusion. What do you think about that one, Ron?
All I'm going to say is the Holy Bible, King James Version. Old Testament.
Look at what it said. By perpetuating this stereotype, we're asking individuals to partake in a monogamous relationship, even if it makes them unhappy.
Absolutely, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
guys, this one floored me the most right here, because everybody's out there looking for a monogamous relationship, and all of a sudden, guys, with social media,
because it sounds good. It sounds good.
Guys, look,
it sounds good.
When I see an article like this, more and more people who are getting away from tradition, these traditional relationships that we grew up with in our generation and older, they done, guys. They done. You not gonna find monogamy anymore. People ain't subscribing to it, which is why you see childbirth rates down. People ain't subscribing to it no more. People don't.
You may have somebody that may be a little more adventurous.
Yeah.
Who they're with, like But again, I think what society and social media puts up there, like you can't even like somebody's photo without it being cheating, like without it being something.
Remember we did the micro cheating. We did the micro cheating. Look, guys, when y'all look up on this video and see the card up and down, if you look up in the right hand corner now, you're gonna see I'm gonna put the playlist for the relationship podcast that we've done, and you're gonna see it now. So you'll see it up right here to the right when you it's probably gonna be over Rhonda's head over there. But y'all gonna see that the reason why I did that, Rhonda, the reason why I did that article, this person was not afraid to just tackle some of these things that people are dealing with. This thing, guys, this thing is absolutely bananas, right? So if you meet somebody and that person, you better specifically ask that person, do they believe in monogamy? If the person says, no, I don't sit there and say, no, I'm going to change it or I'm going to change her.
Well, that's the first instinct. That's the first instinct of people.
right? So guys, we did those traditional stereotypes, and it's killing relationships. Because what y'all don't understand is those 9 things we just read to y'all, I shouldn't say everybody, a majority of people are trying to put their relationship in that box. And one of the things you're going to find, guys, let your relationship naturally ebb and flow. Because the moment you bring stereotypes in, tradition in, religion in, family in, all these kind of things, what you see on social media, your relationship stops becoming fulfilling. Rhonda, what did you think about those 9?
I mean, I thought they were pretty on point. I wasn't expecting it because I didn't know which way we were going with this particular podcast, but I think they were right. I think they were right on point. But I also know that it's hard to get away from what was put in you. And to see all those things, like in a perfect world, yes, being able to recognize all of this and actually doing something about it would be impressive. But for some people, if Jesus is supposed to be in your life, number 9 gonna get you.
Number
It's
9,
gonna
you
get you
can't
every
have number
time.
9.
It's gonna get, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get you every time.
And
Right?
one
And
of
then
the
they're
things,
gonna lie to you, say you're going to hell. Okay. Hell is right now if I can't get what I want right now. But
and
anyway.
let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Stereotypes don't kick in until the relationship becomes formal. Because while y'all were dating, y'all didn't have these problems. Because nobody brought in any of their past trauma into the dating component. I shouldn't say nobody. The majority of stuff don't start until the relationship becomes official or monogamous.
Well, that's why they say I'm gonna take it to the next level. Be ready to go to the next level because
guys, look, if somebody said they're gonna take it to the next level, it's about to get bad.
Yeah,
It's about to get
it's
bad.
gonna always get bad. But at the end of the day, most women will want to be proposed to. Most women will want certain things to happen to them. Most women, just depends. And so you like, hey, I'm gonna check this box, or we want to have the big wedding.
Most men, Rhonda, most men want some of this same stuff too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And one of the things that's happening, guys, is that people don't realize when you get into these situations, it's a no return policy. There's a reason that when you get out of your marriage, they call it a divorce. They don't call you single again. They don't call you unmarried again. They call it divorce because at the end of the day, guys, once you get into this, it's permanent. It's permanent. So one of the things I tell people is just make sure before you become official under these Americanized rules, you better know if you decide you don't want it no more, you're going to carry that scarlet letter for the rest of your life. So if I'm going to carry this scarlet letter, and the only reason I'm carrying the scarlet letter is because I got tired of you not conforming to the stereotypes I wanted to put on you. Right? Like so like when we laugh about white people not seasoning their food, when you go to the doctor and he tell you got, black people go to the doctor and he tell you got black person disease, what's the thing you got to start putting in your food?
Salt.
That's why you got to stop putting that Lowry's, that
ham
Old
hock.
Bay. Yeah. No, you trying to give me collards with a smoked turkey and stuff. No, I need a ham hock.
Yeah, you gotta have a ham hock.
I don't want none of your other healthy smoked meats. And I'm tired of y'all vegans. I'm tired of y'all vegans trying to make everything taste like meat. But tell me how good being a vegan is. I don't know why I'm going there.
I don't know
we
either.
Got to get back on.
Okay.
Look, if you like being a vegan so much, stop trying to make your stuff taste like meat. Right? When I want a salad, I don't want my salad to taste like meat. I need to
unless I don't choose to turkey or ham up there.
You know we gonna think.
Yeah.
Rhonda, what you take away for the night?
Man, you can fight the stereotypes all you want, but you're gonna fall into them every single time. That's what I take away from the night. But I think that article pointed out some good touch points for people to just bring some awareness to see if that's what what y'all falling into. And but that last one, number 9, gonna get you every time. That's all I'm saying. Number 9 gonna get you every time.
And look, y'all know my takeaway. Don't hate stereotypes and don't try to prove them wrong. Rhonda said it in the beginning. It's an element of truth. And I'm going to use another term. There's an elevated level of truth. Guys, there's an element of truth and an elevated level of truth with stereotypes. And if you don't try to fight them, they don't affect you as much, right? All of us have gotten this mentality that we want to prove what the research says. We want to prove it wrong. But you can't prove these stereotypes wrong. These stereotypes are there for a reason, because if I'm going to paint a house, I'm not going to paint it with a brush I use for the corners. I got to use a roller or a paint gun. Okay? Then there's a reason, because there's a swath of people that fit into it. So guys, I got to use my vocabulary. Got to use my vocabulary. But guys, stop trying to prove stereotypes wrong, because if you embrace a stereotype, as Rhonda said, when you see that red flag, okay, that's not a stereotype I want to deal with. That's not a stereotype I want to deal with. And that's what's going to help you understand things for your relationship, because a relationship, guys, should not be a point of contention. A relationship is something that you enjoy, not something you tolerate. And if you don't understand that stereotypes are there for a reason, a lot of y'all are in relationships where you just are tolerating versus understanding that, no, man, we just vibe like this, and this is our little ecosystem. We're not comparing it to all these other things, man. And y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. Y'all do me a favor, man. Get down in the comment section. What do y'all think about stereotypes, man? Y'all give us y'all thoughts on it, man. Y'all think Jeff and Rhonda crazy, or we own to something, man? If you hadn't already, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that bell for notifications. Follow us in the socials. Get the merch, man. Are you really a fan if you don't have the merch? So y'all know every time I do this, I gotta thank my resident relationship expert. Rhonda, let them know again where they can find you on the socials.
You can find me on Instagram at RMBLMBT.
Man, and y'all know what it is. And until next time, we gon' holler.